All right. Unfortunately, we are lacking a few people in class. But it kind of took away from my introduction. But anyways, like most of my classmates will most likely be talking about, my issue is of national significance. And it's very important, especially during this time with the Masters coming up. It's one of those things that is somewhat important around here due to where the Masters are played. Augusta National is only an hour from here. So as you can probably tell, I love golf. Personally, I play golf, and today I kind of want to talk about why I think golf is the most difficult sport to play out of all the sports that there are. And golf, much like this speech, is very challenging. I actually had to ask our professor about it to make sure that I could talk about this due to whether it had national significance and if I could even talk for 8 minutes about golf. So I'm going to show a quick video of actually Rory McIlroy playing a hole, and I'm going to ask you a question about it after.
Bunker on the right, we know about it's about 305 yards away. Over it.
Not anymore, is it?
Look at this one.
He flew it.
Oh my goodness.
He flew it.
I'm looking back. He is on the downslope of a little hill. See, at 145 yesterday. So he's about there. He's about 140 left. 140 left. This hole, ladies and gentlemen, is 514 yards. He's averaged 342 in this hole. Average.
It's reasonable. Yeah.
Let me go over this again. This is 500.
All right. At the end of that video, he did go and make that putt for birdie. So I don't know if you heard in the video, but the announcers talked about, that was a 514-yard hole, par 4. He drove the ball 364 yards on that hole, had a pitching wedge into the green. Did that look easy or did it look hard, what he just did?
I couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's incredibly difficult, and Rory McIlroy is the type of player that he has what many would describe as a perfect golf swing, especially with his driver. He is about my size, and he can probably outdrive me by about 50 yards. Not kidding at all. So according to PGAtour.com, which is where they kind of keep all the stats, this is the current driving distance average on tour, which is 290.1 yards. Again, further than I can hit the ball. And then the current average, this is just this season, it's not like last season as well, but the current average number of events is 9, and of those 9, the average player only has one top 10 finish. One. That's one of the things that I think I'm definitely going to talk about. So when it comes to golf, what I believe makes it the hardest sport is it's incredibly complex. Its overall physical and athletic demands are above and beyond, as well as the inherent difficulty on the PGA Tour to succeed. So, talking about the complexity of golf. As you can see by that first bullet point, it says many tour players have different coaches. They all have a swing coach, a mental coach, a putting coach, and not all of them have one. However, there are very many on the PGA Tour that have these different coaches. They all are kind of experts in different parts of the game of golf, is kind of the easiest way to say it. And that kind of is what the second bullet point is about. The game is very complex. I mean, there are words up there like, is your swing on plane? What's your spine angle? A draw, a fade, a cut, a slice, inside, outside, and they're all just kind of concepts and sorts of things that especially tour players, you definitely need to know, but as amateur players, you need to know as well. You kind of learn these sort of things as you develop your golf game. All right, this is one of the biggest things that I think a lot of people criticize golf about, is they don't think golfers are athletes. They see guys like John Daly, who's probably about 6'4", 250 pounds, and doesn't think that he's an athlete. They see a guy like, his last name's Stadler, I can't remember his first name, but he's probably about 6'2", 280. They think that these guys aren't athletes. Well, I can promise you that these guys are. So, according to TPI, which is kind of a physical education site, the major muscles in a golf swing are your butt, your chest, your back, your forearms, and your core. And then you also, as shown in this visual, you use your triceps, you use your butt, I mean, you use your quads, your calves, you name it, you probably use it in a golf swing. And I think that that's kind of one of the biggest things that people don't understand about golf is how many different muscles you're using in a golf swing, and you're trying to sync those in order to hit a specific shot. Because as you saw with that video, Rory McIlroy hit a draw on both those shots. However, on the next hole, you might hit a fade. You might hit a shot that shapes left to right. You might hit a shot that shapes right to left. Every golf swing is different, and every shot is different. So speaking of Rory, this is a workout that he actually did for a promo for Nike. And if you look over this, if you actually watch the video, it gives you much more of an understanding of like actually what he's doing. However, if you just look at the list of things up here, you can see that it's definitely not easy. It's by no means easy. Rory is, I can't say for sure, but he's probably the fittest golfer on the tour. I mean, like I said, he's 5'9", but he has 15 pounds of meat. He weighs 165 pounds. And he is pure muscle. In the video, that hex bar deadlift, he's actually deadlifting 360 pounds.
Oh my God.
With ease. It's like everyday thing to him. That's basically his warm-up. So I actually found the video on a site called Muscle and Fitness, which again is just kind of a physical education kind of site. It gives you tips on working out. So according to one of their editors, Matt Tuthill, he described Rory's workout program as very sound, and him buying into this program is one of the most important parts, because Rory, before he described in the video, he didn't really think working out, he didn't think golfers really needed to work out, and then he started buying into this and realized that working out is definitely going to help him with his golf game and on the PGA Tour. So now, these are two of the current best players in the world. Jason Day actually just jumped Jordan Spieth this past weekend for number one in the world, number one player in the world. So, like the title of this slide says, what does it take to win? So Jordan Spieth played in 26 total events last year, 25 on the PGA Tour, and he won 5 of those. 5 events. That's about 20% of his starts, if you do the math quickly here. Jason Day competed in 20 events last year on the PGA Tour and won 5 as well. However, he did his, with most of his coming towards the end of the season. He really caught fire at the end of the season. I definitely got to give him that. But the difference between the two is Jason Day his average drive is probably around 305. Jordan Spieth averages probably around 262, so he's what you would, or 292, excuse me, not 262. He's what you would call a small hitter on the PGA Tour, and Jason Day is a big hitter. They each win in very different ways. Jordan Spieth putts incredibly well. Jason Day hits incredible drives and putts very well. They each win in different ways, but as you can tell, it's definitely not easy. That's the biggest thing I think about golf is there are different ways to succeed. Each of these players has different styles, but each were incredibly successful last year. We'll see if they can keep it going. Because Jordan Spieth, 1 win this year, Jason Day 2, but they've been kind of inconsistent. So to wrap everything up, like I said, the complexity of the game of golf is what makes it one of the most challenging games that there is. And then with Rory's workout plan, so does the physical and athletic demands, as well as the difficulties to succeed in the game of golf. If you compare Jason Day and Jordan Spieth to a guy like me, they would kill me. Even if you compare a guy like Tiger Woods, who right now is playing some of the worst golf of his career, he'd still kill me. And what I want to leave you with is, actually, before I get to that, I want to point out that obviously there's incredible debate around this. A lot of people would bring up the fact of baseball, because in baseball, if you have a 300 average, you're doing very well. But as I showed you, Jordan Spieth won 20% of his starts last year. Same sort of thing. So there's kind of, it's my opinion to say that golf is the hardest sport that there is. And obviously, I don't expect you to immediately jump ship on whatever sport you think is hardest to golf. But I hope that I've kind of given you a little insight into why golf is the hardest sport. And the last thing I want to leave you with, Derek Jeter, the captain, who played for the Yankees, who I hate the Yankees. Derek Jeter is about the only Yankee I will ever respect. I've gotten to see him play once, and I was very lucky to see him play. He was just down in Cuba for the Tampa Bay Rays versus Cuban national team. And he was asked, which is harder to hit? A ball not moving, or the one moving at 100 miles an hour? One of the greatest shortstops ever played the game. And his response, the one not moving. Thank you.